Here we have a Chinese Norinco SKS carbine. This rifle is a semi-automatic rifle chambered for 7.62 by 39, and it was sent to me by Gun City, and I'll be doing a review of it. So basically, about the SKS rifle as a standard rifle, it is essentially the semi-automatic rifle for the masses. Because it's cheap, it's very simple, it's highly reliable, and you can buy cheap ammunition for it. So about this particular SKS, it has a 7-round internal magazine, and it uses a tilting bolt short stroke gas piston action. It has a 16.1 inch length barrel, which this particular one is threaded for a silencer, and the barrel is chrome lined, which is definitely a big plus, as chrome lining is extremely tough and resilient, and it should more than double your barrel life, and you won't have to worry about barrel corrosion, internal barrel corrosion, due to the nature of chrome lining. And chrome lining also means the barrel cleans up much quicker and easier than otherwise. And as you can see, it's fitted with quite a large suppressor or silencer, whatever you want to call it, and that should definitely take the heart out of the muzzle report, and anything you can take out of the muzzle report is to be valued, especially when hunting, for the sake of your hearing. And oftentimes you don't have time really to mess around with hearing protection, such as earmuffs or earplugs, when you come across your prey. So it's definitely a big plus. As you can see here, we've got a Weaver Bay scope mount, and this scope mount is a pretty good setup, really. I'll be talking more about it later, but as you can see, you can use the iron sights without having to remove the scope. So that'll be great if you've bashed your scope or broken your scope, or simply directly on top of your target. It comes fitted with a sling. That depends on the package you buy. This particular package, you can get Gun City carry bags, and you can also get cleaning equipment and oil bottle. I can't actually get these to screw into the cleaning rod, but as you can see, the cleaning rod is threaded, so you can probably use it for various other cleaning equipment. The 7.62 by 39 round is easily potent enough to handle up to medium game easily. You can get the cheap Chinese FMJ for just general plinking or whatever, and you've got the Barnall soft point for hunting. So you've got a variety of ammunition you can get. There's brass cased American Eagle FMJ. And being a semi-automatic rifle, you've got the excellent ability to dispense quick follow-up shots, and if your first shot hasn't landed where you've wanted it to, you've got the ability to keep pumping them out, and that can be the difference between killing your prey or leaving it wounded. So that's I've always valued semi-automatic rifles for hunting. I've hunted pigs, and I've managed to take down a bunch of them with the semi-automatic ability, so you can do that with this rifle as well, pigs and goats and things. A bit of background about the design itself. The Russian designer that designed this rifle was originally designing a rifle to replace the Russian SVT, and the Russian SVT fires the 7.62 by 54R cartridge, and when the Russians introduced their intermediate 7.62 by 39 round, he went back and adapted his design to use it. So the rifle that we have as a result is actually a rifle that is slightly overbuilt for the cartridge it fires, and that is undoubtedly a very good thing, and definitely would have contributed to the reputation of the SKS for being so ruggedly dependable. Okay, now for the closer look at the scope mount and scope setup. The scope is a 2.5 to 10 by 40 scope, and so that basically doubles as a reflex sight with the low magnification, or the full 10 times magnification of a full length scope basically. And the length of the scope is particularly relevant here because the SKS tends to eject cartridges nearly straight up, So if your scope objective is overhanging the ejection area, it will get battered by ejecting cases. And as you can see, it uses a quick detach system of mounting. The mount itself uses these cone-shaped screws, Allen screws at the rear to keep itself tight. And as you can see, it uses the standard takedown pin hole, which the standard takedown pin lever would use. This particular mount has been modified, and where it has been modified is at the front here. As you can see, there's a slight gap between the mount and the stock, and that roll pin that you see above the Allen screw, that normally keeps the mount at the right height. So if that mount slips up or down, it's going to affect your elevation drastically and you'll be way off target. But the thing is that that roll pin has a tendency to crumple, and that means that your scope mount is going to sink down onto the stock, and that's definitely not what you want to have happen. So basically this mount has been modified, and the receiver has been modified also to accept this Allen screw here, and that ensures that the setup is a lot more solid than it would otherwise be. As far as disassembly goes, this rifle is extremely simple, and removing the scope mount setup is just a matter of undoing screws, which isn't hard, and the gas system is taken down by this lever here, and you can use the point of an FMJ round to do that. At the rear of the scope mount there are two very small set screws, one on each side, so make sure that those are loose before you undo these cone screws. And the set screws basically just ensure that the cone-shaped screws aren't going to back out under fire. So if you are using those set screws, make sure that they're loose, and just begin by undoing the cone-shaped screws. Next we've got the forward Allen screw. Okay, now for the takedown pin screw. Depending on the nature of your screw, you may need two tools to undo it, to stop it rotating while you're undoing the other side. With this particular screw, I can undo it just with one Allen wrench, it doesn't rotate. Keep the gun level when you drive out this pin, because or else your scope mount and the receiver cover underneath is going to fall off. There is a very small hole in this takedown lever here, and you can use any tool to just lever that up, and you lever it up to the first position here. And before I forget, there's one last thing. There's the operating rod, which is spring loaded, so you need to press that in and rotate the lever further forward and just ease it out. For reassembly, just complete in reverse order. So we start with the operating rod. Good to go. Piece of cake. The tilting bolt design that the SKS uses basically forces the back of the bolt down into a recess in the receiver. So as we can see, the bolt is floating around at the bottom there. That meets the chamber area and stops, and the bolt carrier continues forward, which has the effect of pushing the rear of the bolt down. And the rear of the bolt is pushed down into a recess in the receiver that we can see here. There's a ridge, and this pin here deactivates and activates the trigger. So the trigger cannot be used until the bolt is fully forward and locked. So that's locked and unlocked. The gas system on this rifle is extremely simple. Basically the bullet is fired, gas pressure is bled off and enters the gas tube here, and sitting in the gas tube is the gas piston, and that piston drives back the operating rod, which is spring loaded and is sitting just here, and that operating rod acts on the bolt carrier, and the extent of the operating rod push is about so far.